Welcome, one and all, to the Race Spec PS Pacific Saturday Endurance League Round 10 at Zandvoort in the Netherlands. On the sunny seaside coast of the Netherlands here, 4.2 kilometer circuit around this tight, twisty, exciting track at Zandvoort. Elevation changes of 215 meters. There's beautiful banked corners around here, 4 to the left, 10 to the right, and we've got the amazing last couple of corners that are banked with 15 degrees, and the corner of turn 3 which goes up to 30 degrees. Lovely bowl. And today with me I have the fantastic, amazing Ten Sandals. How are you doing, Ten?
I'm doing alright. A little stressed at the moment with all the chaos, but yeah, I'm doing good.
And I just thought then that we were about to start, but apparently, guess what? We have not started yet, so we're still waiting on the lobby. I'm not sure what's happened, so we got a little bit of a break. But whilst this is actually good for us now, because just in case you guys picked up on, I did not say tier 1 in the introduction, because the tiers have been merged because of poor attendance and such from certain ones. So we've decided to merge the tiers here. So we're going to be introducing a whole bunch of new drivers for you guys. Lots of exciting changes. And we can actually ourselves, we can barely keep up with what's going on here. So Ten, maybe you want to rattle us off the changes.
Alright, so as you said, tier 1, tier 2 have been combined. We have a lot of new faces popping up, so please bear with me. Alright, we've got Deputy Dilldog, who has moved into the Haas for a full-time role. Banana Cake Pie has moved into the Williams full-time as well. We have got Smitty reserving for Zach tonight in the Alpine, Harass in the McLaren, Drax reserving for the Red Bull, Wogboy, who is now in the Ferrari, Racing Hupta, who is reserving for AlphaTauri, Heisenberg reserving in the Williams. I don't know if Glorious Noodle is in the lobby. I am unfamiliar with what team he is in currently.
I believe he's in the Ferrari, as that was the last one to be taken.
Yeah, and then Milak as well in the McLaren, reserving for them as well. So a lot of new drivers tonight. We'll have to keep an eye on them, obviously, and see how they go. Not too sure how they'd I'm unfamiliar with their pace, sorry, and yeah, hopefully they do well tonight.
Yes, the last couple of minutes have been absolutely frantic getting the lobby together. That's why we started a little bit late for you guys, and also just working out. Ten has just furiously been scribbling into his notepad trying to work out what's been going on here, and I think you've done a pretty damn fine job there, Ten, bringing everyone up to speed with what's going on, because yeah, it was a few minutes ago we were unsure exactly what was happening, but we are racing here. We have a full grid, which is super exciting, and yeah, we are raring to go at this Zandvoort track here in the Netherlands. And Ten's ready with he's been hyped up with his Super Dupers, and you know, as you said, last full wet race the whole time from Ferrari Pro. Oh my, oh my, oh my! This is just, I mean, you said this is one of your favorite tracks around here, and this is just going to make it even more spicy.
Yeah, I have done a full wet race around here before, and it is a challenge. It's going to make for some great racing. Unfortunately, the overtakes might not be as fancy as what you can make them around here, but I'm sure we'll still get some good overtaking.
Oh my, oh my, oh my! This is yeah. It was a little bit of a stressful start there, getting all the driver names together. But no, I'm down and ready to go at this track. And yeah, it's a very tricky one. There's some big, nasty, horrible curves in this track that they want to avoid. And what's championships? Contrast. What in the chat? That's a name we haven't seen for a while. I don't know if you guys know, the viewers at home. Contrast used to race in this tier 2, and yeah, we missed him a little bit this season. What are the championship standings? We will get to those just shortly. But just before we do, I'm just Ten. You know what? Take us around a lap around this circuit.
Yeah, no worries. We've got Venti coming along the back straight, braking at the 50-meter board. Turn in gear 3. Don't want to touch that inside curb. You'll spin instantly. Now we've got this fun little part. You can take a little bit of curb. It doesn't take much. Now you can take a high line or a low line, and Venti takes a very low line. Gets a good exit. you can lose the rear end through there super easily, but he holds it super well. Another very quick corner, just a little touch of the brakes and down a gear, holds it tight, run all the way to the edge. Another fun corner, you can take a bit of that curb. Got to be careful on this exit curb, can lose a lot of time with the bumps. A slow part, oh, and he loses the rear end, hits the wall. That is very unfortunate for him. But I think we do have another driver just passing him. Who was that?
The Red Bull, I think. And he's on his outlap.
An outlap.
Was it the Mercedes?
Glorious Noodle. He's in about the same spot. Alright, so he's coming through the same spot again. As I was saying, super easy to lose the rear end through here as well. We've got to keep the gears pretty high to keep the traction. Alright, now we've got the second DRS straight here. Could see some overtakes here as we come into turns number 11 and 12. A very slow part of the track, a very super slow. Got to keep the car rotated super well and gets a good exit there, uses lots of the exit curb. Now we have the second last corner and then the final corner as he runs super wide there. That's probably invalidated. But now we've got the banked corner and then the long straight as he comes across the line and does set a lap, so it wasn't invalid. It was a 112.7, which is actually a good banker lap. I'm sure that he's
quite lucky to not get that invalidated there, going off the track on that that spot there. We're just taking a little look at Ventani and the little mistake that he had there as we just go back to the live cam. I just wanted to pick up on Bags there. He's just letting a couple of cars past. He's in P1 at the moment with a 1:11. Couple of bit of ways off the pace here. The boys just setting a couple of banker laps. It's all happening in the chat. Harass is back. Yeah, I thought I recognized that name. Harass has been taking a bit of a break from league racing apparently, and we will check out those standings for you shortly, Mr. Contrast. But yellow flags happening here. The boys just coming out a bit messy around here. It's quite a tight track as there's what's happened. Who's that? That's Heisenberg just parked up in a very awkward spot, not able to get going. Luckily, no disqualifying there because it is a bit. You don't want to get parked on the track for too long. But yeah, a lot of the times now coming in across the board.
Yeah, a couple good laps already. We're seeing Begizzled sitting at a 1:11 flat. Oh, and then just a 1:10.6 has just come through. Yeah, we probably might see. I'm assuming we'll see a 1:09 today. As the boys are already setting some pretty quick laps.
Yeah, and I think now's a good time as any to grab our interviewee for this weekend into the chat. That interviewee is none other than Bags in the Aston Martin. Bags, are you there? How are you doing?
I'm here. Hello, I'm doing well, thank you.
That is fantastic to hear there. A bit of a delay going. I hope that hasn't put you off in any way at all. But yeah, it's good to be with you this weekend.
Not ideal. Yeah.
Indeed, and you know what? Let's fire off. I think this qualifying session is going to disappear very quickly. So let's get stuck in with your interview here. Tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been racing here at Race Spec?
I've been Race Spec since about partway through season 4. I think I joined about through the first half of season 4 initially as a reserve, then came full time about the second half of the season.
Yeah, and which tiers have you been hanging out in?
Currently on Sundays in Pacific Elite, and then Tuesdays Tier 1 Pacific.
So you're a Stark no assists lad, aren't you?
Yep, first season with no line, so been a bit of an adjustment, but managing pretty well.
We absolutely love to see that. And what are you racing on? What's your weapon of choice?
Racing on a controller at the moment.
One of the few guys on the controllers, along with Scotty, which is I find that always amazing. Being able to do the endurance on the controller, I mean, that's just incredible that you can manage to do that. But you are thinking of switching to the wheel, aren't you?
Yeah, I've had a mate who he bought a Logitech G29 and he ended up not having a use for it anymore, so he just gave it to me, and then I'll be practicing after this season ends.
You're a lucky chap there, getting a pretty much a free wheel, and you know it's a complete game changer change to the wheel. So I'm looking forward to seeing what damage you can do on the wheel. And yeah, Logi very popular among a lot of the drivers here in this tier. Most of the guys on that Logitech wheel. And yeah, so how long have you been playing F1 games for?
Basically my whole life. The very first game I played was F1 '99 on the original PlayStation, and then like after that, like it was a few years where I didn't play any, then picked up again around middle of the 2000s, and then really got back into full time like at the start of the Codemaster series around 2010.
A veteran. We love to see that. And you know, you're coming into the final couple of corners now, so I might just switch over to you. You're going to take us around a lap around this Zandvoort circuit on board with yourself. I'm super excited to hear this, so I'll hand it over to you.
Alright, so try and get a good exit through this final proper corner, and along the banking, keep it a bit narrow, then bring it out wide. Oh, accidentally clipped the wall a little bit there. Turn 1, want to brake just before the 50 meter board, down third gear, run a bit deep, and really open it up on the exit. And turn 2, down to 5th, and then down to 3rd again for this hairpin. Try and short shift on the exit, try and keep it tight, along through here, just try and keep as much momentum as you can, and down to 6th for this fast right-hander here. Honestly I think I've got a little bit of wing damage from that. It's just all out of whack now.
That's unfortunate. You reckon you're boxing then?
Yeah.
Alrighty,
I think
okay.
that little brush with the wall might have knocked a bit of the end plate off.
Alright, we won't hassle you too much, but do you fancy your chances around here at Zandvoort?
Well, last season is where I got my only win of the season, so definitely a bit more confidence coming to this one than some of the other races.
Oh, that is fighting talk. We look forward to seeing what you can do. And you're sitting on a 1:11 at the moment, dead, and puts you in P7. Fastest time at 10.5. You reckon you can get up there?
Well, I think the best I managed earlier was about a 10.7. So if I can get near that, maybe try and improve on that a little bit, and I'll be happy.
Yeah, that puts you in the top 5 there. So managed to do that. So yeah, and maybe tell us any eyes on the strategy setup. I mean, are you set up for the wet?
I've got the one set up for this track. So I mean, it's basically maximum wings even in the dry. So
not much to do then. Not much really to change to. What about the ride height? You tweaked that a little bit, or he's running stock?
Running that pretty much as I normally do around here.
Okie dokie, alrighty, and then I guess just see how you go in the wet.
Yeah, it's not going to be fun, especially that final corner. It's very tricky in the wet.
Yeah. Do you enjoy the wet round here?
I don't particularly enjoy the wet at all at any track.
Oh well, we might break off there then, and we'll wish you good luck in the race. We might hear from you a little bit later, but thanks for giving us a little bit of insight there on yourself and the lap around the track too.
Worries.
All right, we might catch up with you in a bit. Tent, what's been going on whilst we've been having a chat?
Well, a lot of the boys sitting their second lap, so we saw Racing Up to jump all the way up. He's done a 1:10.8. We've also seen Wogboy, who crashed out in the same spot as Harass as well. They were between turns 7 and 8. So 2 drivers already crashed out, which is not great. We could see a safety car as indicated by a couple drivers already binning it. Then we saw some very fast times starting to be posted, with Mighty Wombat jumping all the way up to 3rd at the moment. Same with Vengeance, and then BPV8 doing a very quick lap, being 3/10 ahead of 2nd place.
And just you know, we're just jumping on board with drivers, and there's all sorts going on here. Pleb smashing a brake marker board through the infield section, and Marco there almost going wide on the final. You know, it's an invalidating as well for good measure. Here's one of our good friends from Tier 2 Pacific on a Tuesday. Banana Cake was grabbed P3 in the Tier 2 Endurance Championship with that over now. So be interesting to see how those boys fit in amongst these guys here at T1.
Yeah, they don't seem to be doing too bad at the moment. Sitting in pretty well, but it is a long race still after all. Oh, sorry, I was just watching Racing Up there. You just had a little spin. Nothing major. Yeah, at the moment they seem to be doing all right.
Yeah, sitting there, you saw Banana Cake going purple there through the middle sector, and he puts himself up to P7 with a 10.8, and I think he's going to get very competitive around there with the 6s and the 8s in the high 10s. Bags mentioning earlier, you know, he's aiming for that 10.7, so that'll put him really nicely in amongst those guys. But yeah, quite already a few DNFs, so it's going to be there's a wheel on the outside of that section there. It's going to be a tough race for a lot of these guys, I think, especially with the wet conditions. It's going to be more, I think, of definitely a race of survival. And as we see there, just up ahead, that's Banana Cake who's gone round. And you'll see we're just coming up to him on the right side there. No doubt lost it on that curb on the outside. Riding aboard at the minute with Ferrari Pro, who's on a lap. So we'll just pull along with that and see how he goes here. Still searching for that win in endurance is Ferrari Pro. He's racking up quite the number in Elite now, 5 in total, but hasn't quite found it here. Not a great race for him last week in Spa, with a couple of incidents, but yeah, on the hunt at the moment.
Yeah, same spot as Banana Cake Pie has been to, same as Wogboy and Harass, so obviously a pretty dangerous spot of the track, and we might see a couple cars go there in the race.
Ferrari Pro jumping up to P6 with a 10.7. Millark, also one of our newbies around here. So yeah, we're trying and get you all clued up with all the new drivers that we have. Vengeance sitting up in P2, so he's one of our fairly new drivers in Tier 1, but I'm just right on board with Millark on his flying lap here as he dives down into Turn 1, also known as Tarzan, keeps it nice and tight. Doesn't really use much of the exit curve coming through here, and this is the tricky bowl section of Turn 3. Quite a few different lines here, cuts back, and it's all about that exit up the hill, short shifting 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th, not using the revs too much over the top of the hill. How his sector is a little bit down at the moment, just by a fraction, and this curb here catching a few drivers out already. That inside curb, he's been avoiding the curbs a lot through here. Missing brake marker board, which is not super helpful here, and yeah, coming around the end of Sector 2 here onto this straight. DRS gets a decent exit coming now, and we're going to head down into turns 11 and 12. A flick to the right and the left. He's up 1.5 tenths through Sector 2. Needs to improve a little bit more if he's going to try and challenge some of the top 10. Disqualified from session is Heisenberg. We saw him parked up earlier in that same spot, I think, there, and this time the disqualification has happened. As I mentioned earlier, probably not a great time. Pole time from last season in Elite was 10.4, set by me, says Eye Contrast, as Millark comes across the line. Very, very tight, 11.5 there.
Yeah, Heisenberg losing it through turns 10, I think it was, and yeah, I think he just kind of ended up going like kind of backwards or something, and then the game just gave him the disqualification, as some circuits can do that to you, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's not ideal. That, I mean, you know, you're trying to do the right thing, getting out of the way, but it's often better just to keep moving along as quick as possible. And now we're going to see the guys now opening up their final runs of this qualifying session here. And the first one is going to be Vengeance coming into his final run. I don't think he's going to have time for another one. Comes down into turn 1. And yeah, we're going to try and keep an eye on quite a few guys in the pits. Obviously, quite a few drivers out of this session already. CBF Rude, Harass, Drax, who is subbing in today, and Heisenberg also, who's unfortunately disqualified, so it's going to put him at the back of the grid unless something drastic happens here. There's a slow-moving McLaren through the infield section, but we're going to stay on board with Vengeance in his final lap. And Drax, I'm not last anymore, and he's happy about that. I'm sure Heisenberg is not. But yeah, contrast that mentioned, really using all of the track around here is Vengeance. Pole time was 10.4, and yeah, the group, yeah, these guys pushing each other really hard around here. You see that, using all of the track on the grass too. Vengeance, and yeah, he's hunting for that pole, but BP sitting very nicely with a 10.1. What's that? Alpine gone round on the exit at turn 1, and hopefully he's not in the way of the other guys, as Vengeance is going to be our first car to come across the line. What is it going to be? Can he challenge for this pole time here set by BP? It does improve, but not quite enough. Next across the line is going to be the AlphaTauri racing up to. He does not improve either. What's going on here? That's the Aston Martin of Mighty Wombat. They're all coming across the line here, moving around the order. Not too much. I think some of these guys are going to be going again because they just have enough time. Hopefully they've got enough errs. Who's that now? Is that no? That's Marco's in the pits. The other getting all my names wrong today. The other half of Deputy Dildog on his debut in Tier 1 sets at 11.4 in P13. Aston Martin of Bags now coming across the line. Can he improve? No, he cannot. He's just about hit his target of a 10.7, but with a 10.8 in the top 10. And are these guys still on laps? That's the real question here. It does look like Ford is still flying. He's going to want to look at starting a little bit higher. Yes, he does. He grabs pole by the tiniest of margins. 110.12, just ahead of BP, who's I'm sure going to be very unhappy that. Plebs diving into the pits. Vengeance coming across the line. He's in the pits too. I think most of these guys are going to be coming in the pits. No. There's racing up to still to go. He's used all of his deploy up before he hits across the line, but manages to prove up to P4. The order is still getting jiggled around, and I think that's pretty much it now.
Yeah, that seems to be it. Milark having a bit of a moment there, so he won't be setting a improved lap. But yeah, bit of chaos there at the end. A lot of cars DNF, so yeah, it might be a pretty hectic race when you might see a couple of safety cars.
Yeah, in contrast, pointing out he's curious to see how the top two perform in the wet. Looks like there's been no sacrifice for wet weather being that quick in qualifying, and you know, when we chat to our guys and they make some certain decisions on their setups, and I always sometimes point out a few worrying things. The ride height being stock for my mind's gone blank. Bags, the ride height being stock for Bags, well, I think that's a bit risky. I just wonder who's not really changed that. I mean, obviously the wings are going to be pretty high, lots of downforce around this track anyway, so probably not too much change there, as that's our grid for today. Ford, BP and Vengeance are the top 3, and let's in this interim, let's bring up the standings for you guys at home so you can see where the current lay of the land, lay of the field is. I'd be in the top 5 if I nailed my lap, says Drax. I'm sure many people would be saying that I would be up here if I had got a quicker time, but unfortunately, you didn't, did you? No, yeah, but the setups. Who's gone more wet and who hasn't? Who's got the? And obviously that ride height, increasing that ride height helps around the wet around here, but who has not done that?
Yeah, I was going to mention Ford putting it on on the pole position, showing all the newcomers that he is the GOAT, and he is the one that is the top tier. He's the one that you got to try and come after.
Top dog, the top dog.
Yeah,
he's stamping down his dominance around here. And hopefully we're going to have another amazing close battle. But yeah, I think it's going to be more a bit of a survival. You know, we saw already DNFs in quali. But definitely, this is setups. I think, you know, how difficult are you going to make it for yourself with the ride?
Yeah, I figured you'd want to go as easy as possible.
But yeah, Drax, fighting from the back, it's very exciting to fight from the back. You can make some good racing from the back. Where's Noah? He pulled out last second for some reason or other, unfortunately, which is a real shame. And let's go through this grid for you. Obviously all on the wet tire, so nothing much to see there. I'd say Plevs has a full wet weather setup, one to watch come through this field. Yes, Plevs not having an ideal. Where's Ford going? Right around the outside of that, just testing out the grip. Risky starting that far back from the grid, agreed, yes. But I don't think he did that on purpose, did he? Ford in P1, BP in P2 in the Haas. Yeah, these guys going to be great to watch them fight. They've been fighting hard. And for once, BP is starting up the grid, isn't he? He usually starts a bit further down and always detracting.
He's still got the standings up.
So I do still have the standings up. But, yeah. Vengeance there in P3, great qualifying from him, also from racing up to 2 in the P4 and the AlphaTauri. I'm going to have to do this very quickly now. Mighty Wombat P5, great showing from him in the Aston Martin. The two Ferraris side by side on the grid, Wogboy there reserving, and Ferrari Pro. Bags there in P8, we'll be keeping a close eye on him as our driver of the weekend. Banana Cake up from tier 2 in P9. Plevs quite far down there in P10, but maybe with that setup, look at him going all over the places. Banana Cake there. Ventani P11, Marco jumping in P12, Deputy Dildog from tier 2 in 13th, Millark, a new driver in the McLaren, P14, Glorious Noodle P15 from tier 2, RS Spiddy in P16 also from tier 2, CBF Rude, not a great qualifying from him unfortunately. Harass there, also a newbie in that McLaren. Drax reserving in the Red Bull for Sildefort in P19, and rounding off the grid the Williams at the back there in Heisenberg, and he's going to be P20 from that disqualification in qualifying. I think I managed to get through there just in time.
Yeah. Been a bit since we've had to do since you've had to do a full grid one with that.
20 drivers, yeah, I know. But it's great to see. It's great to see all 20 on the grid. And I think with that merging of the grid, we're going to be seeing 20 drivers every week, which is going to be awesome. I think it's going to be great racing from these guys. Okay, and their final car just pulls into the grid, so just going to wait for these lights. And yeah, tricky start for these guys. Tricky start. The usual timing glitch is going on here, so we'll just ignore that with 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. Oh no, that's a jump start from BP already. That's a terrible start. Give me a better camera angle, please. He's got ahead, but oh, that is terrible. What else is going on here in the back there? This car spreading out, fanning out. It's 4 wide. There's an Alpine gone round in turn 1 of Spiddy there. And yeah, that's an absolute terrible start there for them at the back there. The rest of them getting through cleanly. We're just going to stay on board at the front here. The Ferrari's having a good start. And yeah, bit messy at the back there from the guys. Plevs the quiet achiever. Yeah, the pack already separating out here. There's Bags. He's made some good positions at Plevs too. There's more tragedy happening down the back. Who's that? And there's bits of wing going everywhere. Ay, caramba. It's a bit of a messy start from the guys here. Keep it clean. Keep it together. They're going to trip over each other with that red wing of the Racing Update and the AlphaTauri. Not ideal for him. Who else is Marty? Wombats had a tragedy of a start too. Down 6 places, but racing up to the big loser out of that one. And, well, of course, BP with the drive-through.
Yeah, complete chaos there off the race start. Mighty Wombat having a shocker race start there. Did really well in qualifying and is just losing positions like it's like crazy at the moment.
They are going side by side. This is like 2 by 2 by 2 into the 11 and 12 section there. So dangerous to go through like that. Somehow managed to survive, but as you just said, Mighty Wombat just going backwards. He must have damage. And but these guys front here, I was trying to grab some replays there, but I didn't know what to grab. There was so much happening, so we'll have a look at the draw on that. But yeah, Wombat having a terrible start. It's a real shame for him, but lots of winners from that there. Harass and Drax up 7 positions from that start chaos. BP pulling away at the front there. I think he's going to... It's probably better to take that as soon as possible, that drive-through, whilst everyone's still bickering, and before the pack starts to separate out, which it already has done. Those guys settling into single file. Lots of wing changes, I presume, happening down the back there, Ted.
Yeah, for sure. All three drivers getting a wing change. Mighty Wombat doesn't pit, so I don't believe he has any wing damage. If he minor.
Yeah, let's see if we can have a look at the Aston. No, it looks fine. The Aston Martin does so. Yeah, maybe just struggling in the conditions there, not having the confidence. But yeah, Plevs up 4 places in P6. Great start from him, along with the Ferraris. Look at those guys up there, 4 positions between the two of them, and yeah. Cream of the crop rising to the top by the looks of it, and it's just some real issues down the bottom. As you see, Harass and Drax having a little squabble through the final part of the attack. BP setting the fastest start. When he's going to come in for his drive through the McLaren. There's a McLaren. What's happened here? Millark has just dropped a few paces. I think he is intact. Oh, there's a slow moving. Oh, what's happened to Plevs? He's had a tragedy around the last corner too. What's happening here, guys? Well, they're all over the place.
Yeah, a very difficult track to drive around in the wet, and obviously catching out a lot of the boys tonight. And
it's hard to keep track of what's going on here with the full grid. They have certainly now settled into quite a few different packs here. We've got this rear gunner pack here, led by Glorious Noodle with Spitty, Millark, and Mighty Wombat. Plebs in the pits there. Can you just check, that's a wing change, or is he just a fresh tyre?
I'm sure it was a wing change.
Yeah. So he's had something around the last couple of corners. What else is going on here? The Ferrari still hunting Vengeance. BP still has not come in for that drive-through, leaving it late. Look at the rain through there. It's heavy rain around here. Tricky conditions around Zandvoort. It can be a bit gloomy around this part of the globe. I've been around this part of the coast, and you can have some pretty shocking weather around there. A lot of people say Belgium is pretty horrible, and this is obviously right next door to Belgium. So summertime in Europe, lovely stuff. That's slow-moving Alpha Tauri round the back of the pack. What's happened here? Plebs right behind him, hunting that down, and the rest of the grid sort of settling into a bit of a rhythm now. BP has taken that drive through. This lap is going to drop him right down the order, and then gives the lead back to Ford.
Yeah, well, very unfortunate. They dropped a lot of positions. Got a lot of work ahead again for him, as he always seems to be near the rear of the pack and have to make his way through the entire grid. Yeah,
just making his life a little bit difficult there. I wonder what happened there, because that message came up quite early about the jump start, didn't it? Oh no, Marco has gone off at down over at turn 7. Hopefully he is not taking damage from that. I'm just going to stay on board with this battle because it's getting very spicy. Maybe you want to have a look what happened to G-Force Pato at the back there. And Ferrari Pro struggling on the traction, looking for a move on Vengeance, but can't quite get the traction down to get a clean exit out of there. But Vengeance has gone a little bit deep into turn 11 and looking for a switch out, but no way through.
Yeah, Alex Pato, just lost the rear through turn 7 and had a spin. Doesn't seem to have any damage, so he'll pick himself back up and try again.
Yeah, on to fight another day, and everyone running super high wings going to make overtaking even more difficult around here. And Ferrari Pro looking to go around the outside, just goes a little bit too hard there, a little bit into the Alfa Romeo, but no harm done there. They're going to be side by side. 3 has got the inside. Does Ferrari Pro? Can Vengeance hold it around the outside? It's going to be tricky, and no, slots through. Nice move down into turn 3 by Ferrari Pro there, through.
Yeah, Ferrari Pro got to get his head down now. He's got a lot of work to try and catch Ford, who is just driven off into the distance.
Patience and perseverance indeed, Gav. I 100% agree with you. Around here, just got to keep it together. It's a long race, tricky conditions. Just keep your head in there, and yeah, Ford already 5-second gap. That's what he needs to do. Just keep his head down and put in those laps. I wonder, will we see another no pit from Ford?
Yeah, possibly. 72 laps is a lot of laps. Oh, Heisenberg going around at the final corner. He's not having a good race, Heisenberg, unfortunately. Struggling really bad in the wet.
Oh! That was an attempt at a flick turn by Heisenberg, and a very poor one, unfortunately. That looked rather clumsy, and he's in the wall, and he is down and out, and we've got a safety car.
Yeah, there it is. The first safety car, 6 laps in. I'm sure Ferrari Pro will be very happy with that. Get to close that gap to Ford, and hopefully
Bax is in the
challenge
pit.
for his first win.
What's going on here? Bax in the pit. I find that very bit odd. Already to be in the pits, he's going to sacrifice him a lot of positions here. That did not seem like a great, and you know what's amazing? We can bring it in. I'm gonna question him about that. Bags, are you there?
I'm here.
Yes. How'd you go there at the start?
It's definitely a bit tricky. Trying to find the limit early on is definitely a lot more difficult in these sort of conditions.
Yeah.
I just tried to keep my nose clean. Like, didn't want to battle too much. Yeah. Managed to avoid a couple of incidents, thankfully.
Yeah, there was all sorts of going on. Incidents left, right, and centre. People just jockeying and just getting a little bit too hot under the collar in these tricky conditions. I'm surprised you came into the pits there.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this early on, like, obviously there's a chance to try and go all the way to the end, but like, tyre temps are starting to become a bit of an issue. A little bit, like just the way I've got them set up. So
overheating.
Yeah, a little bit on the front left, especially through that middle sector.
Well, I'm sure this is going to be one of many safety cars. As Kiwi in the chat there reckons there's going to be 17, one of 17 safety cars. So I wouldn't put it
probably not 17, but this definitely won't be the only safety car. So I'll take advantage of the stop now, and then if other people come in later on, I might hopefully make some of those positions back.
Yeah, you reckon you can go to the end on these? I know it's quite early still,
it's going to be tricky. I think that's definitely going to be the plan at this point. And then,
indeed, yeah. Well, it's quite early days yet. Early days that you're sitting there with your teammate. You're gonna hopefully try and work together then to push yourselves back up the field.
I reckon that'll definitely have to be the plan here. Like, just try and take it easy through these first few laps after the restart, and then just try and make some moves. Hopefully, watch out for anyone that makes any mistakes. Definitely going to be on the cards.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to trip over each other, especially with that championship battle being so close between AlphaTauri, Ferrari, and yourselves. They're just over 10 points separating yourselves. So a good finish is on the cards. You know, a wet race is always unpredictable, so opportunities are there.
Much so. I mean, maybe a little less so with as many people in the lobby this week compared to the last few weeks, but you just got to do what you can. Just hope the opportunities come to you. Indeed.
All right, we'll let you get back to your safety car, and we might catch you a little bit later on when I don't want to say anything, but I have a feeling we're going to see a few more of these safety cars. So thanks for joining us again in the Combox, and good luck for the rest of the race.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's see what I've got stored in the replay. I've totally forgotten what I replayed because I was trying to there's so many things happened. So let's take a little look, see what we've got in here. It's the first corner. That's the Alpine going around and just causing an absolute mess for the cars behind it. I'm not sure how or what happened at the start there. Might show that one again, as you can see going around the first corner there. Let's play that again and see if we can catch what happened to that. Okay, it's not going to play again. That's fine. This is interesting. A pit stop for Ventani. Bit of an odd time to come into the pits. Oh, it's a wing change. Oh, there's a missing end plate there. I wonder if he took some damage under that safety car. Did you see a notification come up there?
No, I didn't see a notification, unfortunately. But yeah.
I wonder if it's not doing that thing that it was doing last weekend with the notifications. Yeah, so just let's go through this order a little bit for you guys. There's Ford still holding P1. Ferrari Pro up 5 positions, so good progression through the field for him. Vengeance sitting nicely in P3 at the moment. The other Ferrari of Wogboy having moved up to Banana Cake Pie in P4. Good start for him on his debut in tier. Well, it's not tier 1 anymore, is it? It's just tier. Just endurance. But Drax there, up 13 positions in the Red Bull. Not so bad starting at the back there. He's having a good afternoon so far. And BP's lost some positions, but you know, all in all, with the drive-through, that's not been as horrendous as it could have been.
Yeah, he did really well after that drive through and just kind of cut his way through the grid as he normally does.
And safety car in this lap. And also, I just want to mention there, Harass. I believe Harass is very quick from what I've seen before, saying he's up 10 positions. Definitely one to keep an eye. But their players, look at him, he's down in P18. Been a nightmare so far, but it's early doors. It's early doors, and I'm sure there's still lots of things to change. How will Ford get this race restarted? Let's keep an eye on him through the eyes of Ferrari Pro. Just waiting patiently is Ford. I think he's going to go very late here. Ferrari Pro up alongside him, doing the old Verstappen. Putting a lot of pressure on Ford now. Look at that. He's right alongside. Almost in front now, Ford. Just look at this. When is he going to go? 5-second penalty. Oh no, I think they're going so slow. Caught some of the guys at the back out, but off they go. The cars all over the track down the back of the grid. I'm going to keep cycling through here. See, there's a couple of overtakes potentially happening. No, but they settle back in and side by side coming through turn 1, and then turn 3 is going to be tricky. Don't want to go side by side through here. There's BP moving up through the grid. Not quite managing to pull that up around the outside. Tricky round here, but Drax gives him space, and I think just doesn't get on the traction there. BP up another place, and the order just sorting itself out there. And Ventani up a couple of places at the back there. Whitey Wombat not had a great start once again. What is going on there with the Aston Martin? Oh! Oh, I was checking through there. What happened there? That's a Glorious Noodle. Glorious Noodle's gone round, and whoa. Did I grab that? I don't think I caught that. That was another safety car straight away there. Let's try and cycle through that. I think I just caught that through here. If we have a look. No. I think I just missed it, unfortunately. I think, yeah, once again, that turn 7 catching people out. Drive through. They caught the start of it there, but unfortunately, drive through penalty, speeding, plebs. Wow. There's too much going on.
Yeah, Plebs having an absolute shocker there after restart. Both Plebs and Rude. Both Plebs and Rude running into the rear, I believe, of cars in front when that safety car restart was so slow that they were just so physically packed up that it was just bad. Geez, a lot of 5-second penalties there. I think Deputy Dilldog, and I think it was Spitty getting a 5-second penalty in for the drive-through for speeding in pit lane. Sorry.
Yeah, the speeding in the pit lane, the 5-second, as you said, from Deputy at on the restart, we're making contact with the car in front. It was a very slow restart there. I think Ford was trying to put Ferrari Pro, but there, Pleb's picking up a drive-through. Tricky with those deltas around here, especially in the wet. If you lock up and you go sliding through a corner, but yeah, that was a horrible restart there around turn 7. You just gotta play it down, just take it a bit easier on these restarts. These are tricky conditions for everyone. There's no need to go too hard this early through here. Hopefully these guys sort of just settle down a little bit. And I think the stewards are going to be a little bit busy this evening after the race, but most likely some innocent mistakes coming around there, just cars losing it and them just being so close together. And we're seeing that safety car causing another safety car kind of cycle at the moment.
Yeah, I was going to say there's 2 of 17 kickback. I was going to say with that prediction, does that mean there's only going to be 3 cars that are going to finish?
Yeah, well, that would that's what the figures would suggest, would they not? But yeah, players having an absolute nightmare, as said. But it's still time to bring it back. I mean, we're only lap 11 of 72. I mean, there's still plenty of time for more safety cars, and that drive-through might not mean a lot in a couple of laps' time. But I think he's definitely better off taking that ASAP, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, for sure. I'd try and take it straight away since he's at the rear of the grid anyway. Probably going to be another safety car, so he'll be able to catch back up.
But yeah, these boys at the front, look at that. Ford hustling the Aston Martin safety car a bit, probably asking it to go a little bit quicker. through this section. Yeah, the safety car not particularly quick in the wet around these twisty sections of this track. So just just going to be a little bit careful under that safety car. I don't want to make any unnecessary errors, as we've already seen a few drivers do. But 18 cars still in this race. We've lost Glorious Noodle around turn 7 just now, and then Heisenberg with that absolutely messy flick turn. And I guess that's what happens when you've got traction control on, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess.
You can't spool up those rear tyres with traction control. Take that traction control off, and well, it makes it a bit easier to go around, but it makes flick turning a lot easier as the safety car is coming in this lap. How will the restart go this time? I think Ford's going to be very wary of Ferrari Pro really pushing him through this last section, and I think the guys maybe will be a little bit more careful from the previous restart down the back there as the pack bunches up, because clearly Ford likes to get this restart very, very slow.
Yeah, boys might struggle with tyre temps because of it though, and that could have been a bit of a cause for what happened last time.
Yeah, you keep an eye on Mighty Wombat. Had a good recovery there, but he's just hasn't been very good on his restarts at the moment. So and Ford's gone early this time. Ford's gone. Whoa, he's getting very tail happy there. That's going to allow the Ferrari to get very close. Is he going to have a look here? Ford goes defensive on the inside. Ferrari Pro around the outside. Oh, he's gone deep onto the gravel. That's a disaster. He's made a real big mistake there and just manages. Oh, he's gone sideways there. Banana Cake's having a look too down the inside. Vengeance is there too, trying to pick up the pieces, and Ferrari Pro just holds on to that. There's Drax trying to make it around the outside. Oh, he's tagged the Haas, and the Haas has gone round into the wall. Oh no, don't tell me that's another safety car. And just yellows at this stage, and maybe you can keep an eye on what's happened at the back there for S10 with the damage situation.
Yeah, for sure. Damage for Drax, and I think BP has got no front wing as well.
Oh, that's a nightmare for those guys. Again, it's still early doors, so there's still time to recover, but they're not going to be happy about that at all. And we'll take a look at that replay in just a moment. We'll just make sure there's nothing else going on. And as I say that, Rude has gone round. There's a missing front wing, as you see, of the Haas. Rude has gone round at turn 10, and off he goes. Luckily, I don't think he's taken any damage there. There's a bit of a bottleneck happening with Millark here in P7, holding up the rest of the pack. Marco's right behind. The front group have separated out a little bit, but we're going to keep an eye on what's going on here. Ventani right out of position at the moment. Can he make up some positions through the first corner? Takes a look, but cannot get. Marco's made a bit of a mistake around turn 1, but can't make use of that. Doesn't get a good enough run. But Bags is just sitting patiently at the back of this group too, and he's gone. Oh no! What's happened to Ferrari Pro on the outside there? There's a Ferrari in the wall. It's a safety car again.
Yeah. Well, there's 3 of 17. Plebs pit to get his DR drive-through removed, but he didn't get removed for some weird reason. I'm a bit confused on that.
When did that happen?
Just then, he just went in the pits that lap, and yeah, did his drive-through, and he's still got the penalty. I
wonder if he was. I wonder where it triggers. Like, if that safety car came out when he was still in the pit lane, even the pit exit, maybe that the game just presumes that you're in the. Doesn't matter where you are in the pits, whether it's entry or exit, that it doesn't count. Because that was real unfortunate, because he would have done that drive-through by the time that. Yeah, that's a huge. So who's that going off the track there? It's a huge setback for him, and I thunked this, that I caught this on the old replay cam. We're looking on here with the Williams, looking at the rear wing as the 2 cars going side by side. Oh, I think that was. Yeah, that was a little bit of a whoopsie there of the Red Bull. I think he still had some space on the outside, but it's always tricky going side by side on the exit of that corner. And what do you reckon of that one, 10?
It's a bit tricky again. Yeah, let's see it again, and then I'll make my prediction.
I mean, it looked like BP was turning a little bit towards the outside of the track, but there's plenty of space on the outside. Could be a racing incident there. Just that little bit of contact. We've seen that happen a few times. A little bit of contact, and it just sort of pushes you around. What does the chat reckon? What does the chat reckon? Let's get the chat in here and see what they reckon of that incident. Let's just have a chat about it.
Yeah, I personally reckon that I think just BP just turned across the front of Drax. He did look like he had a lot of room through that initial corner, but it closed up with that curb coming out when they went out the corner. So I feel like he didn't really actually have that much room there. So he's touching the curb. I don't think the drivers want to be touching that curb in the wet. So I think that is the edge of the track.
Yeah, that's Ford in the chat, Bailey Ford in the chat. I feel so bad for you guys. He's out front in the clean air and there's just absolute chaos happening. What's this? Whilst we've been looking at the deputy's got a drive through as well. What's going on here? Under the safety car, there's all sorts of shenanigans happening. This is not the hard part, guys. Will be such a boring race. No, it's crazy at the moment, Bailey, man. It's crazy. And we've got the replay camera here. Look, I can just keep playing this replay and we can talk about this incident at the moment. And Banana Cake also. How are you guys typing and driving at the same time? What's going on here? But look, we can watch this incident over and over again and talk about what we think. We're not stewards here, and this will not influence anything, but we can talk about Ferrari Pro. What happened, man? Just tuned in, Buster. I know, it's all happening. Buster, come watch this replay. Tell us what you think. Ferrari Pro, tell us what happened to you. We missed it, unfortunately, because we are watching what's on screen right now with this incident just down the road, and that's what happened there between BP and Drax, who are now sitting in P15 and P16. It's very intense in the 2 laps we get of racing before the safety car happens once again. Yes, it is. And these guys once again under the safety car, but yeah, good to see you all tuning in the chat.
Yeah. I want to know how these boys are actually driving and talking in the chat. I have seen Banana Cake Pie do it a couple times in different races. How the hell are they doing it? I wouldn't be able to do that.
Here we go. Here we got the first at-home stewards are coming in with what they think. Kickbutt Kiwi, I'm presuming that's meant to say BP. BP penalty for pausing under the safety car. Oh, SpaghettiOs. That's not what you're supposed to do at all. And Banana Cake Pie. Sorry, Banana Cake Pie. I understand now what he's saying. Yes, how dare you, Banana Cake. You have to type and drive at the same time. No pausing is allowed. That's cheating. 50-50 says Buster. Yeah, I would also hesitate to go towards that response too. But of course, you need to see the drivers on boards. What's going on under the safety car here? There, Spitty picking up 5 seconds for a collision with Bags. Just take it easy, guys. This is not the race here. We're under a safety car as it's coming in this lap. Just take it nice and easy into the safety car. And pay attention. Stop chirping in the chat if you're racing. And we're about to go racing again. Lap 15 of this 72 lap race. 3rd safety car. Can we get going for real this time? Off he goes once again. Ford, nice and early this time. It didn't work out too well for him last time. This time it's a different Ferrari. G-Force Pato with a 5-second penalty for ignoring the yellow flag. Guys, there's lots of cars in the pits. 5-second penalty in the pit lane. Ford holds on to that lead. Wogboy not managing to close up the lead. And yeah, whole bunch of cars in the pit lane. There's drive-throughs and things like that. Can you take a drive-through straight away?
No, you can't. You have to wait a lap.
That is exactly what I thought. So maybe Deputy there making a mistake, but maybe you can have a look at this. There must be lots of wing changes happening from contact. But the front of the pack getting away nicely. Please don't have an incident into turn 7. There's an Aston Martin going very wide of Mighty Wombat, and it hit the brake marker board, and luckily he has kept out on track. And yeah, that was a very, very close one. That promotes a couple of guys up a couple of positions. Let's get their positions. Where am I looking? Here I am. Positions gained on the point here. Harass 13 positions up in P5, doing an excellent job there. Also, Banana Cake doing very well. Tier 2 drivers, ex-Tier 2 drivers showing that they mean business around here.
Yeah, so from the rear of the pack, from Alex Pato all the way down to Deputy Dilldog, I think they all had an incident coming off that safety car. All of them had 5-second penalties, and they all had to pit and change front wings.
Yep, I'm sure they'll close that up, so not to worry too much as they're forward finally getting a clean lap. Plebs is going to take his drive through, and that's going to drop him down at the order somewhat. It's pretty spread out down there, so he might not actually be at the back of the grid after all this. But Harass there, half a second off the back of Banana Cake, definitely looking feisty in that McLaren. And yeah, this front pack are very close together. What else have we got going in here? We got Drax and BP round 2, and with that Aston Martin, Mighty Wombat, who has not been going too fantastic on the restarts, but I think once he gets going, he'll be okay. But look at that, BP right at the back. He's going to go for a move here. Oh my God, he does! He gets wobbly all over the grass, and Mighty Wombat just conceding that. But that was a ballsy move. Excellent over there take from from BP. Sorry. Wow. Woo.
Yeah.
Unconventional.
Yeah.
But they managed to get through that section. Drax, they're having a look-see too. Can he get a bit of a switch back through this middle section of the track? Not quite, but wow, look at that overtake from BP. That I think he's got his mindset, you know, he's looking forward, he's like trying to recover those positions, and he's on a charge. Nothing's going to stop him today. He's coming up to Bags now, round the final corner. And I'm sure he's going to be fighting hard for who's that, racing up to round down by turn 8. Looks like he's got going again. Let's stick on board with this. Bags is recharging his battery. He's not fighting this as the Red Bull dives into the pit lane in the background of Drax. That's a bit odd. 5-second penalty in the pit lane. What's going on? The guy's just not being able to get slowed down into the pit lane there. It's not want to pick up 5-second penalties, unnecessary penalties in the pit lane.
Yeah. Racing Up to went around. He is on the intermediate tyres. Bit of a bold choice. Definitely hasn't worked out. I expect him to pit this lap and put the wets back on.
Yeah, maybe Jeff was telling him Porky's. Drax just came in the pits there. I found that very odd to be coming into the pits at that point. Maybe he just wants to get some clean air, get away from these guys fighting, and racing up to there. Another penalty in the pit lane. What's this yellow flag for? Down. Did he retire in the pit lane? Did Racing Up to?
I believe he did.
That is not what we like to see. Naughty, naughty Racing Up to retiring in the pit lane. We do not like to see that round here. You're getting no favours by doing that at all, especially with the amount of safety cars we have had. And yeah, onwards we go. Harass still behind Banana Cake at this point in time. Bentani also close by, right up against the wall around that bank section. Racing onwards do we go. Channeling my inner Yoda there. And yeah, Banana Cake's doing a good job holding off Harass at this particular stage of the race. And the front guy's not really pulling away, which is good to see, because that would be boring. Keep in touch at the front there. Oh, Harass getting very squiggly on the exit there. Could not get the power down. Puts Ventani back into play. What's he up to? Racing Up to. That is very punny kick butt Kiwi. We love the puns in here. Keep them coming. Ventani not able to take advantage of that lack of traction from Harass in front.
Yeah, Drax into the pits there on the intermediates as well. Jeff must be telling some lies today because, yeah, it does not look like Inter's weather at all.
Yeah, stick your head out of the comm box. You can see the rain through the air. Stick your head out of the comm box. Put your finger in the sky. It looks like it's raining very heavily.
Yeah, got a drenched head now.
Yeah, and should have brought our Brollies with us. Millark 3-second penalty for corner track limits. And look at this pack. This is a bit of a spicy battle because BP has got up to the back of this group too, and it's turning into a 4-way battle through here. This is going to be one to keep an eye on as Vengeance is in the pit lane too. Is he putting on those inters also?
Yes, he is.
Whoa. Maybe you can keep an eye on those. Jeff and Lies, name a better duo. I cannot. You've got me there. BP looking around the outside, locks up for good measure, and that's sort of just pushed him. There's a couple of other drivers in the pit lane. What's going? We're looking at Inters, are we? Maybe you want to keep an eye on those Inter boys. It doesn't look like Inters to me, but yeah, have a look at their pace.
yeah, 4 drivers are now on the intermediates. So I'll keep an eye on their pace and try and notify you guys.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see how they, if they progress, how they do. Is that Marco too in the pit lane for Inters? I'm guessing. Oh, BP is really wide. I heard the gravel go on the exit there through turn 9. Not where you want to be. And yeah, there's a bit of a squabble happening here. It's just going to make a movement through the field a bit more difficult for BP. The gaps are starting to open at the front here. There's a bit of a bottle happening here with Banana Cake. In P3, a tough battle for P3. Wow, BP getting a great exit there. Ventani not so much one, and he's right up the chuffer. And what's that? Ferrari going slowly. Has he gone round on the last corner? It's what it looks like. That's a virtual safety car. Dives into the pit lane, does Ventani. And this could be a very... Oh, he's picked up a 5-second penalty as well. Ay, caramba. Footy is intense as well, like this race. Nowhere near. No way can the footy be as intense as this race. Buster, get unless you've got 2 monitors... I mean, there's a bit of a lull here, but whilst there's a lull, you know what that's time for? It's time for replay time. What did we capture earlier? It was this amazing move by BP up the hill, I believe. Yes? Yes, here we go, here we go. He's looking to the... Oh, on the curb, on the grass. Sends it down the inside. Amazing, amazing. Great move. Great move. That was so good. I want to see that again one more time. What are you doing, replay system?
Not going to show you now.
Show me now. It is working. Yeah, I mean, it's tricky enough as it is going around there. You've got to have the inside. I think outside is not going to work, and just commits completely. But props to Wombat there for giving him space, because that could have ended very, very badly. And you know, I would love to hear from Bags and telling us about what the conditions are. What, Bags, are you there?
We're back under racing.
Oh, we're back into racing. Shit. Okay.
Yeah. I was gonna say.
When did that happen? Very quickly. We won't go to Bags. But that happened very quickly. Golden point, extra time. What's going on with the strategies here? There's Inters.
Almost everyone is on the intermediates now. Only 4 drivers on the wet spell 3 now. So it seems it is Inters conditions. Although I didn't think that I was watching Rude's gap to the other wet drivers, and he didn't really seem to be gaining. He seemed to be losing a bit of time. So I guess we'll watch Ford's gap and between those guys, like BP, which he seems to be catching pretty quick as well, so it might be Inters now.
And BP is looking strong on the wets. He's not really struggling. If only we could see what the temperatures are on his steering wheel, that would give us a very good indication. Look at this lovely switchback that BP has made. Can he pull it off? Gets good traction on the inside, gets the job done. BP is on fire in these wet conditions. We've seen him work very well in wet conditions from Australia when Ford managed to pull off a 0 stop in wet conditions, and BP if it wasn't for that mistake at the end by Ford, BP would have had it would have been a tough battle at the end there between the two of them. But yeah, BP, he looks convinced it's still wet, but Ford is closing the gap here. It was 4 seconds I saw, and he's closing that gap. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, we could be at a crossover point here. It could be drying out a bit more, and at the moment I think the tire's probably just about the same. Mighty Wombat not really being able to catch Wogboy there on those full wets. Either the gap staying the same. Could be just Ford's absolute raw pace that he has catching those guys.
Yeah. Wogboy looks like he's catching Bags though on this wet tire. So yeah, interesting. Just the differing paces. Yet to be seen. I think I mean, it certainly looks like the Inters are better. Most of the drivers are on the Inters. What is Alex is coming on to if he's having a wing change. That's the reason for the pit stop there. But yeah, Warboy is just catching up on there. But Ford has just made huge inroads, hasn't he, on that Inter's tyre. But what's the gap between Ford and BP?
What is it? It will be 3 point something.
Yeah, it was sort of. I think Inter's is looking good.
Yeah.
But BP's still out on the wets. They're harassed coming into the pit lane in the background. Ford sets the fastest lap. Oh no, harass has picked up a 5-sec penalty in the pit lane. It just but yeah, Ford there showing that the Inters is the right tyre, fastest lap. I wonder what BP is going to do. He's surely just losing time now at this point.
Yeah, it does seem like he's losing a lot of time. Maybe he's going to try and stick it out and hope for a safety car as soon as possible, but that's never guaranteed.
Indeed, and now everyone's on the Inters, so it's a little bit safer for the other drivers. But yeah, it's going to drop BP quite a ways down the field. Yeah, see, did you see Warboy? Yeah, Spitty. Sorry, I was just. Okay. Well, that's played into the hands of me. What were you just saying just about safety cars?
Yeah. Yeah. What are we up to? 4 of 17.
That came out absolutely perfect timing for BP.
Yeah.
He's going to lose that position. Oh no! Plebs! What are you doing? It's another drive-through. Boy, caramba, this is just... What is happening today? Is that B? No, BP is coming. He's going to drop, what would you reckon? 2, 3 maybe positions? They're quite close. He might actually drop a few more. But that's coming up nicely. Time for 4 of 17. Kickbutt Kiwi updating us there. We are counting 2, and it certainly looks like it. Isn't there a limit, though, on reduced how many he can have? Isn't it?
I've got no clue, actually.
I thought it was
that's
like
the first
3.
time I've heard it.
Oh no, Millark as well. Guys. Safety car, yellow flag, drive slowly. That's what the yellow flag means. Relax a little bit. BP dropping only the 1 position. So yeah, that's worked out perfectly for him. Harass in the pit lane. You know, so just for note, have a look. Just keep an eye on Harass's name. See how it says pit. Now look at him on the track map. He stays with the pit symbol next to his name for a long time. So you know how before we were saying that plebs didn't work with that drive-through. See how it still says pit, pit.
Yeah,
pit.
okay.
He's still pit. He's still in the pit. He's still in the pits according to the game. Only now is he out of the pits. I reckon.
Whoa! Malark, DNF, turn 1.
Oh, yeah. So well, I don't know what to say anymore. I mean, they're on the safety car. Take it easy. There's no need to pick up penalties. No need to. It's just chaos. It's just chaos.
Yeah.
But I reckon that's what happened to Plebs. The safety car came out whilst he was still on that pit exit, and it just discounted his drive-through. I reckon that'll be what happened.
Yeah, because he was. When the safety car came out, he was definitely still classified in the pits, if that's where the pit exit is. So he got screwed. By the looks,
it voided his drive-through. Now let's try this again. Let's try this. See if Bags is willing to get back in the chat now. And, are you there, Bags? Are you willing?
Yes, I'm here.
He is willing. Sorry about that before. I was too busy paying attention to other things. That's fine. Totally fine to completely ignore me. I won't hold anything against you. What's happening down there?
You tell me. You probably got more of an idea than I do.
This is just chaos. There's just drivers picking up penalties, crashing whilst under the safety car. You really just be patient and keep your composure, looks like.
Yeah, I've only really been driving at about maybe 75-80%. From that last stint after that last
it's worth
restart.
it, isn't it, to do that and stay in the race? I mean, you guys now P7, P9, so gone up in the world. Plebs there behind you with the drive-through seems to just keep picking them up under safety car. It's just a nightmare for him today.
Like he's even saying himself in the party, like he's just losing focus. He's just not fully in it.
Yep.
I mean, understandable with this weather.
Yeah, tricky conditions catching everyone out, and you knew pretty early on then that it was inters? There seemed to be some confusion between what conditions it was.
So, like, I think when like Rude and that came in for inters, it was definitely still time for full wets. But then after a few laps, it was definitely like a lot more clear that inters were the quicker tyre.
Yeah, because a couple of guys hanging out for a long time on that wet tyre, but apparently it worked out for BP because he hung right out on that wet tyre. But I mean
that's just his style. He'll stay out until either a safety car comes out or he gets a puncture.
Well, yeah, we have seen that in the past, and it has worked out for him sometimes. Other times, not so much. But yeah, you guys are sitting good. Just keep your. Who's that coming in the pit lane in front of you? That's Banana Cake. This is a bit odd. It's not getting wet again, is it?
Let me check with Jeff.
Yes, because we trust Jeff.
Yeah, no, it's still intermediates.
Yeah, maybe some fresh tyres. Yeah, I think it's just worthwhile maybe being on some fresh tyres there.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, yeah, it's still early days. Yeah, I mean we've had what 4, as Kickbutt Kiwi keeps telling us, 4 of 17 safety cars in this race.
Yeah.
And
I will get 17 with it being unreduced, but yeah.
Yeah. But still, so you guys now P6 and P7, so good job for the Aston Martins. But, I mean, there's plenty of time for things to change, right?
Oh, definitely, but I'm just going to try and continue to keep it clean as Jeff continues to tell me to change my strategy to do the exact same thing every time. Thank you, Jeff.
Well, good luck and just keep your head down, keep it clean, and, you're on for one here.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, thank you. Just frustration and just mistakes creeping in these tricky conditions we just heard from him there.
Yeah, I'm kind of a bit curious whether we're going to hit this 2-hour limit with all these safety cars that we've been having. We're only 27 laps into the race.
Yeah, how long have we been going? I'm not even sure. Either way, safety car in this lap. I mean, it's a short lap, so it's not too bad. It's not like Singapore or anything like that.
We have been going for about, about 45 minutes now.
Yeah, the stream's 1 hour 25 minus quali and in between, so some mass here. Look at that, Rude doing a Ferrari Pro right up alongside Ford. I like this, no one's afraid to just challenge the leader there, pile the pressure on, but Ford, he has not crumbled under the pressure yet, and it doesn't seem like he's gets a lovely run out of the last corner. It's still yellow flag, I'm presuming this will disappear here, yes he does, and BP is going to want to make some inroads on Rude as soon as possible and try and look at that already, around the inside, BP, can he hold on to that? It's going to be tricky round here. I think Rude has just conceded the position there, and BP up into P2. The battle for the lead is on.
Yeah, rear of the pack there, keeping it pretty clean. They're all just going single file at the moment. Obviously, goal at the moment is probably just to make it to the end of the race.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep an eye on this turn 7 because Banana Cake getting a little bit frosty around here. Yes, no one making any silly moves around here. Just stay a little bit patient, keep it single file. That Ferrari clobbering that curve, getting a little bit of a bad run. The Red Bull looking to the inside, not quite managing to get close enough. And there's a bit of stuff coming off the car at the front there. Oh, look, Banana Cake having a little look down the inside of turn 10. Can't get it done, settles in back behind, and yeah, just keeping it clean. These guys through this on this restart this time around, maybe learning a little bit from the past endeavours. CBF Rude there dropped off quite dramatically this lap from the front runners, and he's sort of he's a bit of a cork in the bottle at the moment with the Alfa Romeo of Vengeance. He's going to have a little look. Rude goes a little bit defensive, middle of the track there. We've got a driver in the pits. I'm presuming that's Plebs with that drive through from before. Number of finishes will be in single digits, calling it now. Okay, how much are you going to put on that kick? But oh, that was into the back of Rude there. Does Vengeance, hopefully he hasn't taken any damage from that. And I was just about to flick over to BP, who settles in behind. Wonder if we're going to see him move up the hill. It's all happening up the hill here. There's also Walkboy right on the back of the Aston Martin too. Look at that. He's had to come right out of the throttle there, did Vengeance, coming through a turn just before turn 8. And Banana Cake picks up a penalty too.
Yeah, Plebs finally served that drive through and hasn't had to do it again. Hopefully he doesn't pick up any more throughout this race.
Yeah, look at that. Maintain, he just can't get past Rude, doing a great job keeping that Alpha Romeo behind him. I wonder, sorry, Vengeance, not Ventani, but Ventani is going to be right in the back of this group too. I wonder if BP is going to have a sniff down into turn 1. He's sort of, the gap's opened up a touch through the last part of the lap, so I don't think he's going to be close enough. There's some other action happening around the back there. I saw that side by side. Wogboy and Wombat there going around the last corners. Very sketchy place, especially under the web, but they keep it clean, and Wogboy moves up through the field, taking another position.
Yeah, Rude losing a position. Oh, Rude and Vengeance having a good little battle. Oh, Rude almost losing it there on the grass. Wondering whether he's struggling on those tyres. He's got the oldest tyres out of everyone, as another car's sneaking up the inside there. A good move, Rude backing out by the looks. Yeah, 15 laps on those tyres, the oldest tyres on the grid.
That might be hampering him, indeed. Well pointed out. We saw a couple of the guys sacrificing positions for fresh inters, and it looks like that's a pretty good shout because it's giving them a good increase in pace between the worn ones. So that being the right call, I think, on this restart. But look at these guys, so close together. There's one little mistake and you're going to drop by there. Walkboy getting past Bags through turn 11, and that pushes him up to P6. He's going to be the next one to try and look at their Ford, setting a 122.2 fastest lap of the session so far. And yes, well, I was saying Walkboy having now the next one to have a look at Rude there on those older inters. It's Harass looking for a move on Drax, and oops, I was looking at the wrong car there, and not quite pulling it off. Those two going side by side. Some good racing, good clean racing happening around here. That's Rude's having, there's a Ferrari looking at Rude. He's looking back though. He's not conceding this one at all. Feisty from the Red Bull driver there, and holds on to that position. Nicely done indeed.
Yeah, Rude got onto that same piece of grass that he was on last time. Almost lost the rear end, but caught it really well that time. Bit interesting that he's running on that grass.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be hampering them too much. Well, considering it is the grass with low grip there. And Drax having a look at Wombat. He gets a much better run coming out of turn 10. Side by side here, but Wombat's going to have the inside. Drax late on the brakes, so late that he misses the corner completely onto the gravel. And that has cost him big time, that audacious move down into turn 11.
Yeah, lucky there. He managed to come back on the track pretty clean. Whoa!
Yeah, they're getting a bit feisty for the positions here. Makes it through cleanly this time around as Wogboy on Rude cannot hold on to that position. What else has happened here? Harass getting past Mighty Wombat into turn 1 as well. Drax has got to pick up those pieces now from that. It did seem very late into the brakes, didn't it? Just coming in with 2. I think Bags, it looked like Bags braked early, but I think he just braked at the right time because, yeah, Drax missing that completely, that braking zone there. Banana Cake all over the back of Mighty Wombat and him all over the back of Harass. Coming through this section here, we've seen guys just lose it around here. You know how it'd be very exciting if this race dried up near the end?
Yeah, it would be a good twist that I think this race needs.
These guys pushing so hard, they're all getting sideways here. Mentioning, oh, Banana Cake really struggling with the traction out of there. Deputy Dog having a sniff. See what I did there? And backs out of it. And chooses not to go side by side through the section. Probably a smart move, but Alex is right up the back of him now. Forward there. Ooh, but BP responds with the fastest lap himself. It's going to be I think it's once again between the two of them at the front there. Tough battle happening between them, just putting in fastest laps, and but there's plenty of action happening down here also, and this is hard to keep track of everything. Let's maybe jump to the front. Bags there, not quite close enough. Deputy Dildog, not close enough also. Into turn 1, and yeah, it's going to keep, but Alex is having a little look at the rear of that Haas, and keeps it tidy through here. Can he get a good run coming out of turn 3? Gonna be not gonna be enough through there. Bags is now the next one to have a look at Rude there on those 18-lap-old inters. Not ideal. Let's maybe cut to this replay that I had stored from earlier with Rude and Ventani, who goes for this late move into turn 7 from the mistake and just holds on to it. He's got the inside and pulls through, so great move there from Ventani, one of our newer drivers in this tier. Whilst that was happening,
Alex Gatto has gone.
Virtual though, it's a virtual so far. So careful guys, no need to do anything silly under the virtual safety car. Stay well within that delta. You do not want to pick up a drive through. And I'm guessing that was on the exit of turn 10, just losing the rears. We saw Banana Cake almost do just the previous lap.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yes, how many? Seven drivers out of this race. Let's just take a moment whilst we've got this virtual safety car. Heisenberg, Glorious Noodle, Ferrari Pro racing up to RS Spitty, Millark, and our most recent retirement, unfortunately, was G-Force Pato in the Mercedes. Real shame for him. He was going very well, and that's really going to shake up the standings, I think, especially with the constructors.
Yeah, for sure.
We've seen those Aston Martin boys in the past. They're very consistent, very, fly maybe a little bit under the radar, but they're always there. They're always picking up those points, so that's going to, and off we go. Race, the virtual safety car has ended. It seems that most of the gaps have kept the status quo, but I think Wogboy, they're having slightly better run out of it onto Ventani there, just a couple of tenths behind him, almost pushing him through the final sector here, 11 and 12. Bit more confident of the traction, I think, that he's looking in that Ferrari, even like getting on the curb through there. We did see Wogboy also make a move around that final corner, which is pretty impressive, and not going to be close enough here, but Harass is much closer to the back of this Aston Martin. Of Bags moves to the inside. Bags chooses not to defense, and Harass comes through and takes that position from him. Pretty simple move down there into turn 1.
Yeah, I saw a couple of the boys weaving on that back straight there, so obviously tyres getting pretty cold under that virtual safety car. Good to see everyone still running after that virtual, and no one ended up losing it.
Yeah, they're just gotta, I think they're just now, we've got some good running now, and just getting settled into a bit of a rhythm, and they're in a big pack there as well, so the pressure's still on. But definitely just trying to find that rhythm. You can see there, Wogboy absolutely hustling the back of that Alfa Romeo of Ventani, but he's not giving that position up at all.
Yeah, we are 55 minutes into this race now, so still, we'll probably make it to the end if we keep at this rate. It's not looking too bad, but yeah, we could still see a lot more safety cars and end up hitting that 2-hour time limit.
There, Ventani going defensive, and he seemed to have a pretty good straight line, didn't he? Ventani was charging, Wogboy was deploying, and he just didn't catch at all.
Yeah.
Interesting. Maybe he's gone for a slightly lower lower, maybe one click lower on the wing, maybe some lower ride height, something contributing to that slightly stronger straight line speed. You can see the Ferrari there just trying to push him along through that section. Harass is also right on the back of Rude too. Yeah, it's just tricky to find a way through in certain parts of this track now that everyone's sort of settled in a little bit.
Yeah, I was expecting you to make a pun there with harass. I thought you were going to be like harassing the back of Rude.
I missed out on that one.
Yeah, you missed it.
Alright, okay, alright. Well, I can't really do it now that we pointed it. The moment's gone, unfortunately. Just missed opportunity there. But yeah, therefore they're still pumping in those fastest laps. Oof, that Ferrari getting a little bit tail happy once again through here. He's definitely pushing. He wants to try and get his... Look at that. Slipstream, and he's just not gaining at all.
Yeah.
Like, at all.
Yeah, maybe just that one click down on the front wing is really helping him out. Maybe you can run... Maybe he changed it when he went into the pits. Would be a bit easier to run while it's wet. As he looks for a move around there. No, it's not going to happen. But gets a good exit. He's going up the inside there, and they're still side by side. And it seems like Wogboy backed out there, as you do not want to be going side by side through here.
You unofficially... Well, that's not a good start to that statement. You unofficially copyright... Whoa, there's a McLaren of harass. And maybe he was harassing too much. And he's in the gravel. But I think you got away with that one, right? Looks like no damage. No damage done. Just pride and time. But just not too far off the back of the pack. So it's not all over for him yet. Just a good bit of a recovery drive now to catch up to the rear of the pack. Look, the fastest laps at the front they're being traded between BP and Ford. Plebs on the back of Deputy Dilldog in the Haas, who gets a poor run out of the chicane. Plebs is going to look around the outside. Whoa, yeah, tricky at the top of the banking. I think that Haas just had a very compromised line and probably had to lift a little bit through there. He's going to challenge this? No, not going to be close enough. And the Plebs moves up. Once again, these two guys battling away. Ventani doing a stellar job just keeping that Ferrari behind him. Yeah, there's just enough straight line speed and he just can't get past in these tricky conditions through the twisty parts of this track.
Yeah, I do want to point out a little something. If you flick over to Plebs, you will see that he still has a yellow warning light for that fuel. With all the safety cars and virtuals that we've had, how the hell does he still have that warning light?
I mean, he knew it was going to be this... Well, I would say there's quite a big margin between full wet and inters in terms of how much fuel you can gain back. Like, you don't really gain as much back on the inters, do you? Compared to the wets. It's just so close to the back of B. Once again, the front guys in the front trading fastest laps. Just can't get past it. Let's have a look at this exit here. Maintaining gets a nice run. He doesn't want to use Urs, but oh wait, hold on. He's got a much better run as Wogboy this time round. Maintaining holds that inside. He's not using his battery at all. It pulls alongside. He's got the outside. Can he do it round the outside? It's going to be tricky. It's going to be tricky. Keeps his nose in there. Side by side through here. He's got to concede. The outside is just not good around that section at all. Switchback maybe? No. Ventani parks it on the inside. Just excellent defensive driving from Ventani there.
Yeah, very well done there. But I'm sure Wogboy won't let up and he will try again.
They're just looking for him to make that mistake. Just keep piling on the pressure, and that's all you can do really, is just wait for that mistake to happen, and just keep it together. Oops, there's a little bit of mistake from Wogboy. He's clearly getting a little bit frustrated with the slow pace round the middle section. Definitely, he's just tapped him again there. This is obviously big. Yeah, it must be down to setup that. Wogboy's just so much quicker in the middle sector, but just has no speed on the straight. Yeah, going back to the fuel. You were saying earlier. I wonder how many laps of fuel he took out. I mean,
Yeah.
underfueled by. You know, how much you can do by about 3, can't you? Just figured it would be full wets, take out all the fuel, and why not? I guess. Why not? Unless it turns to inters, and then you don't gain back all the fuel that you took out.
Yeah, I just kind of figured with being under that safety car, all those safety cars and stuff, that he probably... Ooh, touching the back there again.
Oh yes, I somehow forgot about the safety cars.
Yeah, so I'm just wondering how he's managed to keep his fuel so low. Maybe he's doing that absolute revving trick that he has been doing. But yeah, it's surprising to see that he still has that warning light.
3 very close battles going on here. I'm not sure which one I should be keeping an eye on. I mean, we've got Ventani and Wogboy, Bags and Rude, and then just a little bit further back we've got this 3-4-way with these guys here. As I say, it's a 4-way. I mean, it's almost up to the pack of the front, but whoa! Whoa, 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 whoa. That's Aston Martin and Mighty Wombat going around there. Did he take any damage? Do a flick turn, don't hit a wall. Where are you going? And off he goes. That is not ideal for him, missing a front wing. That's going to be a long pit back to the long trip back to the pits for him there. And yeah, tricky conditions, catching people out. Just keep it together now. We're over halfway. Don't want to do anything silly at this point. Wogboy's going to get... Does Ventani use... Oh, that's bizarre. He had his... He was using his... Oh, once again, I'm being a fool here. The red light's flashing because of the rain. I don't know why it took me so long to realise that, but Wogboy's finally got past, a little bit more aggressive this time round, but I feel that was coming. You know, he just had to be a bit more pushy on the overtake there, and finally makes it past Ventani, but Ventani doing a fantastic job on the defence there. You've got to give it to him.
Yeah, he was doing a very good job there. Held Wogboy off for a lot of laps, so hopefully he can... he seems to be just dropping back, but hopefully he can focus back up and try and catch back up to Wogboy and maybe, you know, try and make him move back again.
We know Wogboy is very quick, so it's going to be a bit of a struggle town for him. Let's take a look at that Aston Martin whoopsie, and they seem to be going no problems around here. Yeah, just lit up the throttle. That Red Bull was very lucky not to collect the Aston Martin as it went round, because that could have been a huge incident there as it rear end came spinning around. But Rude, now the next one here, holding up this this group, and can Bags get past? That's he's just got to push them a little bit harder. They've got plenty of energy as well. Energy is not going to be a problem around here. Not many places to use it, especially with the wet weather, and yeah, just cannot catch up. Tricky track to overtake at.
Yeah, I would like also to mention that BP has caught up a solid amount to Ford there. They are still continuously trading laps, which is just crazy that every single lap they're going quicker. Maybe it's drying out a little, and we might hopefully see some softs at the end, because that's what I would love to see.
Yeah, exactly that. I mean, the penalties are quite low, considering. I mean, I don't think track limits is too horrendous around here. So hopefully that won't take away from the battle at the front, because that's what we've often seen. Bags there getting very sideways coming on the exit of that, but manages to hold onto that position. Banana Cake was ready to pounce there, but yeah, he just had enough to stay ahead through that section. Just be a little bit careful on the obviously tricky conditions. The tie's starting to wear out maybe a little bit at this stage. Excuse me there. And yep, this pack still going hammer and tong between these 5 drivers, sorry, with Rude, Bags, Banana, Plebs, and Drax rounding off the group.
Yeah, tyres seeming to get pretty worn now. Rude seeing it 28 laps on those inters. Do you reckon we'll see another pit stops from everyone, or do you reckon they'll try and go to the end on these?
I think so. I think we'll see another pit stop. I think maybe one person, or all it takes is one or two people to take the dive in, and you'll see the pace difference. The undercut's quite strong here. I think even with the wet tires, wet weather tires, and yeah, it just takes a couple of people to switch over, and I think that'll trigger a lot of the other drivers to come in also.
Yeah,
But
Ford setting another fastest lap there for 2 laps in a row, so BP not being able to respond just yet, but he's still managing to stay in that gap.
going back to Kip But Kiwi in the chat, unofficially copyrighted in a private chat. I mean, unofficially, so that doesn't say, that doesn't hold up strong for me. And a private chat, well, I wasn't there, so I'm claiming this officially in a live chat, the harassing. So, ha, is what I say to that comment. And yeah, these guys still super close together. And just looking for a move, some alternate lines happening around that section, which you can do. It's I really enjoyed that corner with the different lines you can take. But Rude doing a fantastic job on this 20-line lap. If there is one guy that's going to pit, it'll be him because he's on those older tyres. Banana Cake looking, sorry, not Banana Cake. Pleb's looking very feisty moment through that section there. I think he wants these guys to get a move on a little bit. And surprised if he tries to make a move somewhat down there. The gap at the front, I know we haven't really talked about it too much, but I have been paying attention to it, even though hammering away. It's stayed somewhat the same, but BP is slowly closing that gap down. Log Boy, that's a new fastest lap from somebody else that's not at the front. Log Boy there puts some, whoa, Bag's getting very close to the wall. Is he going to be close enough for a move here? Looking very good. Whoop. Goes down the inside, a little bit late. Oh, he goes a little bit deep. It's going to be close on the tyres and doesn't quite manage to. Yeah, it was. I don't think he was Rude there holding that middle line. Bags wasn't quite sure which way to go and is a little bit late going down, committing to that inside line. That's what sort of cost him on that move there. But I think Plebs are going to be ready to pounce on any kind of mistake that happens here, as Deputy Dilldog has gone around on the exit. Turn virtual. I don't think a virtual is necessary. Deputy Dilldog doing the right thing, just waiting for the McLaren of Harass to go past. Off he goes. Virtual nullifying this race for the moment.
Yeah, I was going to mention, are we counting virtual safety cars in that list, Kickbutt Kiwi? Because if so, we're probably sitting pretty high.
Thing crucial just happened then. BP using that virtual safety car to pit onto some fresh tyres. Pretty good, strong. That's a smart move there, but he's just undone his smart move by picking up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Seen so many drivers do that today, and that's going to cost him.
Yeah, it seems like maybe some of them running racing line are trying to follow that, and it's just not working out for him. I know that it is a bit tricky pit entry here because it's very quick, and then you got to slow down super quick. So a lot of them pushing the boundaries, and should be just chilling out and taking it easy into the pits and making sure they don't cop that 5-second penalty.
Yeah, methinks these three are pushing the boundaries of the Delta too. Look how close they're running. They're looking for an advantage. Someone goes a little bit slow in that Delta, the other's going to try and capitalize. Oh, and just, there you go, see? Look at that. Plebs, I almost feel like Bags just let Plebs through then. Or just seem to get caught out by the Delta, but on the grass. That was close. No, and that's another position there. Drax is through. That mistake very costly for Bags there, losing 2 positions. And yes, I have not forgotten about the... Whoa, there's Harass. He's gone round at turn 7. And I wonder if that's going to trigger anything. I'm not sure. He's off the track. We'll see you from the Aston Martin if the car's still on there. But yes, I did see that drive-through from the virtual for BP.
Yeah, what's that like? What drive? How many drive-throughs have we had today? It's been a lot.
That's taken away that amazing lead battle that we had between those guys. It's very annoying because that was shaping up to be a very tasty battle, especially once again on them on different strategies. So, oh no, that's all I can say to that. That's a real shame for BP. What did we say about taking it easy under the virtual safety car?
Yeah,
No one's listening to us. No one's listening.
I wouldn't listen to me either.
That was a poor exit from Drax there. Bags having a little look, not quite, and Pleb's also having a look at Rude there. We've seen some good defense from these guys. Can he keep the guys behind him? That's a shame. Harass on his debut there. DNF, that's both McLarens out of this race. And yeah, real shame. Now we're down to 12 drivers. And for those that don't know, Race Spec scores all the way down to P15, so they'll all be getting points. Plebs looking down the inside. Not quite close enough, bit of a lock-up there. But Rude's gotten a little bit deep, but it's quite easy to hold on to that if you...
Yeah, BP setting the fastest lap on those fresh inters. Shame with that drive-through penalty because now he's going to lose a lot more time. He's barely in contention unless if there's going to be another safety car.
Look at that, going defensive all down to the inside. Plebs looking to the outside. It's tricky. We've seen it's tricky around the outside. Plebs leaving just about enough room, but he's got the outside. Rude's got the inside, and it's pretty easy for. He's going to look again, but nah, parks it on the inside. Keeps Plebs behind. Good defending from Rude. Good racing from the two guys, and that's allowed Drax to catch up to the back of these two guys again, and brings player 3 has entered the chat.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Big Izzle to get onto that rear of that as well, and then we'll have player 4, and Banana Cake's not far back either, so we could even have 5 players in that battle.
Guys just pushing each other through the race, keeping it entertaining for us, and approaching the 20 laps left point now of this race. Unfortunately for the Plebs looking to the outside. Outside I don't think is the way to go around this track. I don't think there's really any outside that can be done around here, apart from maybe the last corner.
I mean, yeah, even a move around the outside in the last corner is just risky especially in these conditions.
I'd agree with you there, and yeah, just hug that inside, which Rude does. Forces Plebs around the outside once again, and yeah, I wouldn't. Oh, you just got to back out of the outside move. It's just so risky trying to keep your nose in there. It's not worth the potential damage that it could do to you and or the other driver. So settling back into this position, Red Bull sitting pretty good at the moment. P6, P8, not as good as the Alfa Romeos. They're sitting very good, gonna pick up some good points for those guys today because they're currently sitting at the bottom of the constructors. They've not had a great season. They've had we haven't had both drivers for that team, but maybe these two will turn it around for Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, the two boys are doing pretty well at the moment. They haven't had as great a races for the first couple, but they're holding out pretty well in these difficult conditions, so they're doing well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Alfa Romeo looking very strong too in real life, with Bottas sitting there. Great finish, double points finish for them last week. They might even be able to repeat that in Jeddah.
Yeah, I'm keen to see how Zhou Guan Yu goes. He did pretty well for his first race, and I'm keen to see if he develops really well throughout the season.
Yeah, and he has raced around there before, albeit not in an F1 car, so he does have experience around there, which I think is important because there are a few others on the grid that haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pleb's pushing hard, right on the back of Rude, but yeah, just can't find a way past. I think that's going to be the story for quite a while throughout the rest of this race.
I'm going to say Ford setting the fastest lap there again, showing that even though he is on the old tyres, 28 laps, he can still set the fastest lap.
Indeed. What's BP's pace like on those fresh? Well,
Quick.
Answering my question, thank you for putting in the fastest lap at that precise moment, BP. Yes, quick is the answer to that question. Is Plebs going to be close enough this time round down the main straight? Rude once again goes to the inside to makes a double move down there with a weaving. I wonder if there'll be a little bit of communication on the team radio down at Alpine there. He moved on the straight twice there, but I mean, I don't think Plebs was close enough to get past him anyway. Yeah, I mean, all he's got to do is park it on the inside, and there's no way that Plebs is going to get past. Look at that, Plebs right at the back and touching the back of that car, just getting caught out by how much slower it is in certain parts of the track. But hey, just park it on the inside, Rude, and the jobs are good, really.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of the drivers just touching the rears of the other cars. Obviously, you have to follow super close in these conditions if you want to try and make a move, so a lot of them getting pretty lucky with not getting any damage.
Torbjörn Ranheim in the chat, it's time for slicks. Well, we wish, but I don't think so. It's still raining, it's still wet, there's a less wet line. I would not call it a dry line. There's less standing water. Whoa, no!
Whoa.
That is an absolute heartbreaking way for Rude's race to finish. That's a safety car as well.
Yeah, it was a massive accident.
That was huge. He lost it, caught it, lost it again, and then round and oh no. He was doing so well. He's not had a fantastic run in this tier as Rude, but I was really rooting for him there. He was doing such a good job with defense. And then, yeah, that's a real shame. I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of the drivers now coming into the pits for fresh tyres. Yep, there's Ford. He's the first one in. This helps out BP. Is he still... He wouldn't have that. He's just got that 5 seconds. He would have done that drive-through. So, but that puts him back into play now. It puts everyone back into play. Ooh, the excitement's back on.
Yeah, another safety car. Yeah, everyone's back into play. As you said, we might see a bit more chaos off that start, but hopefully everyone's learnt their lesson from all the other ones, and it will be a pretty clean start.
Indeedy doody, and let's take and yeah, so we'll just do a roundup there. Down to 11 drivers, almost 50% of that grid. Kiwi did not put any money on it, so he's a bit of a wuss there, but he did say that he reckons that he's called it, that the number of finishes will be in the single digits. We're getting almost there, 2 more drivers, and his prediction will be true. And yeah, Heisenberg, Glorious Noodle, Ferrari Pro Racing up to Spitty, Milak, GeForce Pato, Haras, and Rude have just are our DNF so far, as we see lots of people into defensive masterclass, says Ventani. Yes, there was some absolutely amazing defensive racing from you and Rude there. And let's take a look at how it all ended for Rude whilst we're under this safety car. We've got Plebs falling behind. Rude gets a fairly decent, gets on that curb. I think that's where it starts. It's just a little bit offline there, and you can see the rear's gone a lot earlier, and round and round and round and round he goes. Yeah, it all started, I think, a bit earlier on that curb, right? Let's take another look here. Wide on that curb, and he's got to have more steering lock now to get his car turned around. Now here, it's already started to go, and yeah, hard to bring it back. Absolutely heartbreaking for the lad. He was doing so well up there, and down to 1 Red Bull, unfortunately.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're gonna bring Bags back into the chat and make him the most talked to driver throughout the race. There has been so many safety cars.
Banana cake, banana cake in the. Just before we actually go to banana cake, there, Billy Lacey. Which is that rude? I think that's rude, isn't it? My inter's only at 30%, he said. So yeah, they're not really wearing too much. So Drax choosing not to pit, which I think maybe is a missed opportunity at this point. But banana cake, we've had more safety car this race than I had drivers finish in tier 2 last week. Oh, that's a bit of a burn right there. Bit of a burn from banana cake there. We love banana cake. He's good value. I love his attitude to his admin. So keep it up. Good work, banana cake. I say his debut in tier 1. He finished P3 in tier 2. That championship, not T2, P3 in tier 2. There is no tier 1, no tier 2. We are all one whole tier together now in endurance from the merger. Sitting in P9, so good job. Still a long way to go for him. And holding the banner for Williams is Banana Cake, with Heisenberg early retirement from him. Both Aston Martin still in the points. Great job from them. Both Haas in the points. When was the last time we've had that? Very long time. And both Alfa Romeos in the points, so they'll be bagging. No, wait, I'm going to take that back. Both Aston Martin still in points, and they're going to, and look at the Bags and Mighty Wombat, they're going to be bagging some good points today. No? Nothing? I'm disappointed. Are you there, 10? Don't tell me you're not there and I'm going to have to tell my joke again, because I'm going to be very disappointed if that is the case. Anyways, yes, so both those guys in the points, and so some strong finishes there for them. But yeah, Ford still in the lead at this moment. BP with a 5-second penalty. I'll bring up the penalties for you guys there. BP 5-second penalty. That is going to hamper his charge, but I don't think that that's going to stop his spirit in any way. He's going to be fighting hard for that lead with Ford. But yeah, Ford doing a stellar job there in P1. Has not broken under the pressure.
Sorry, I'm back. I had a guest in my room. I did hear your Bags joke. It was hilarious. I laughed my head off.
Thank you for that support in there. No one else in the chat did, so I'm crying on the inside. But you made my day.
It's alright. We'll keep the puns coming.
Keep the puns.
Try and keep the puns coming. Hopefully we'll get a couple more laughs from chat a bit later.
Keep the puns cunning. And yeah, I was about to say, I think the safety car would be coming in this lap. It is. I don't think we've had BP and Ford together on a restart, have we?
I don't think we have we? No.
Yeah, so this will be exciting. These two guys, hard races, quite similar in pace, so it will be exciting to see how they get this race underway. Never defended that much in my life, says Billy Lacey, who I'm pretty confident is rude, and you were doing such a good job, I have to say. But yeah, look at that. Well, BP's not hustling. Bit of respect of space there, but now he's pulled alongside here. Yeah, here we go here, and off Ford goes again fairly early. BP's had not a great start. Vengeance has having a looking at making some vengeance upon what just happened then. Did Ford just touch the wall then? And he just seemed to lose a lot of time. He's squiggled all over the place. Very close through the first section, but single file, no mistakes. Everyone keeping it nice and clean. That's good to see. But the guys at the front there, very close together. And BP's caught right back up to the back of Ford. And same with Wargboy on Vengeance. They're sort of in two pairs at the moment, but getting it through cleanly through the first part of the lap.
Yeah, I almost feel like we should be having double points for this round. It's a very tough, and if you finish, I feel like you kind of deserve. You've done double the work, you deserve double the points.
But yes, I agree there. Commend all of the drivers for their, all the ones still in the race, for their perseverance and strength to get through here. And yeah, good, just great job really. And you know, there's not that many penalties as well, considering considering its endurance and the tricky conditions from these guys. But I think that 5 seconds is going to be very costly for BP. He's struggled so far to try and get past Ford, and look at that Ford up ahead. They're going defensive, and let's just have a little look. But I don't think he's going to be close enough into turn 1. And once again, yeah, it's just a bit tricky to get past here.
Yeah, very tricky. You got to be pretty much right on the rear of the car in front coming through the final corner to be able to make a move on the straight by the looks.
Here's Ventani's going to continue his defensive masterclass through the rest of the race, hopefully for his sake, because Plevs is right on the back of him, and yeah, cannot get alongside before turn 7, so there's just no way he's going to get through. And yeah, still keeping in single file, still keeping the status quo with all the positions around the track. No position changes as of yet. And yeah, it looks like they're struggling a little bit on the traction. I'm just going to change back to the tyre there. And Drax is doing a good job on those 37 lap old inters.
Yeah, I'm assuming he reckons he can take those to the end. So I don't think we'll see any pit stops from any cars unless it goes dry.
Still holding out for the dry.
I really want to go dry.
Yeah. Oh, there's Plebs having a look at Ventani. Ventani's got the inside. We've seen how well this has gone before, and Plebs gives him a good squeeze to the inside. Ventani gives him a good squeeze to the outside. Plebs gets actually a very good run through here, and I've lost Ventani. There he is, but now this is turned on the inside. Plebs has just done enough to stay ahead, and through he goes, because that outside turns into the inside at turn 3, and that's what he's failed to do in the past, is just hold on long enough for the outside to become the inside, if that makes sense, and he's through.
Yeah, very well done there. I was on the edge of the seat there. I was a bit scared that we might lose a car there, as that's very difficult to do in the wet.
Yeah, there's a little bit of contact there, but I think all's fair and all's good there. No damage, no cars round. Bit of friendly touching, friendly kissing there, and off they go. Continuing Plevs. He's going to now see, I think he's going to look up ahead now at Drax and see if he can make some positions. There's not much fresh tyres at least, so he's going to want to make good use of that inter. But it hasn't worked for Wogboy, has it? He hasn't not got past Vengeance and still stuck behind there. Ford there setting the fastest lap, 19.1, taking that fastest lap back off BP. BP loves his fastest laps. He's got the most out of any other driver. He's got 5 at the moment. Ford has only got 2, so yeah, maybe a bit of bragging rights there for fastest lap between the two drivers. Banana Cake stuck back in this battle here with the Aston Mines. He spent a lot of time around these green cars, and he's probably sick of seeing the back of an Aston Martin. Ahmed Ali, am I the only one who has never completed a 100% race ever? No.
I don't think I've ever actually completed a 100% race. I don't think I've actually ever
Whoa, the Aston Martin makes a big mistake up in front there, Bags, and Banana Cake's ready to pounce and gets through. The job done there, and he's just made a mistake on the outside of turn 10, and that's just allowed the Williams to get through there. Back in the day when I only used to do single player, I used to do 100% races when I had time.
Yeah, they're very, very time consuming, so I feel like a lot of people probably haven't actually done a 100% race. Yeah,
I mean, if you want me, I can pick out some names from the drivers who have not completed DNS. But Ahmed Ali, who is that? I wonder. It must be one of the drivers. Maybe you can reveal your PSN to us so we know who you are. But I did catch that, I believe I caught that mistake from Bags there. You can see just ahead there, that's Bags in front, and just gets it a little bit too wide, can't get on the pad, just looks like he understeered off onto the gravel. He kept it in very well there, and yeah, Banana Cake just gets through from that mistake. It's not all over, you know, just gotta keep your head down, keep it clean. Plenty of time still for, well, plenty of time for things to happen. There's just over 13 laps to go, and yeah, still plenty of time. I don't think we're going to achieve that 17 safety cars, but if you're including virtuals, well then that's something different. I hope you've been counting Kickbutt Kiwi, telling us how many virtuals and safety cars there've been so far in this race. I have not been keeping count. That's what you're there for. And yeah, there's the gap sort of opening up a little bit at the moment. Aston Martin's settling in P9 and P10. Still be a good finish for them. Yeah, BP once again. Let's have a little look at the. Let's have a talk about the leaders a little bit, Tim.
Yeah, sure. I mean, alright, well, first I want to talk about Ford. What a drive at the moment. He has just been killing it, been first, I think, the entire race, and just hasn't given that position up. Had to do so many safety car restarts and done extremely well on every single one of them. He's just driving a perfect race, to be honest. And BP, yeah, he got a couple drive-through penalties. He's got 2 drive-through penalties this race now. And he's still second, so he has been killing it as well. And yeah, I mean, they're just both on another level compared to the other drivers at the moment.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. But he can't seem to close. Can BP? I mean, Ford's got plenty of energy. He's using. Ahmed, I actually race in PSGL. I raced one season in Race Spec before, but was 50%. Well then. Well, this is a rare occurrence actually, endurance. We had the 2 tiers on a Saturday, which have just merged as of today into just 1 tier, and of course all the other races are 50%. There used to be some sprint races too, and yeah, so 100% is. Do you guys do 100% in PSGL?
And also, what tier are you in PSGL? What? Because I know PSGL is a very elite league, so it's very cool to see someone from PSGL to tune into Race Spec stream.
Yeah, and well, I mean, of course it's about pace and how quick you are, but really never thought about 100%, not even with the AI. Well, yeah, it's a slog. I mean, if you're a true F1 hardcore fan, 100%, but not many people do this, and yeah, we've seen the guys really improve from doing 100% races. I think it just wonders for your consistency, and if you can pull off 100% at a decent pace, then the 50% just seems like a cakewalk, does it not? And yeah, it's just great for consistency, improving that, and it's I'm F12, don't know what that means. You know what that means?
Yeah. So it's pretty much just, you know how we have F1, F2, F3, F4. It's that.
Oh!
Oh!
Hey,
No.
he's done exactly what Heisenberg did earlier on, but in a much more dramatic fashion. Wombat. No. And I don't think that's going to trigger anything, unfortunately. He's gone round on the exit of the last corner, and then try to do a flick turn and put that front tire into the wall. That's oh god, no.
Yeah.
That's down to 10 drivers now. 1 Aston Martin left.
Yeah, I was going to say, only 1 driver away from Kickbutt Kiwi's prediction, but hopefully all these 10 drivers can survive, because I just want to see the boys reach the end. They've driven so well. They've gone all this way. Ooh, G-Force. Ford having a massive moment there, coming on that final corner. He saved it pretty well, though.
I'm not going to play that replay too many times, because that is a painful moment to watch there. why I'm back getting it wrong on the flick turn. Oh, what a way to go, man. Oh, that is... He's going to be frustrated with himself. Oh, dear. So close, but yet so far away. And yes, do go back to explaining F12.
Yeah, so basically, instead of having a tier 1, tier 2, they've classified them as F1, F2, F3, F4. And they have a lot of different tiers. I'm not too sure how far they go down, but I think they're up to like season, I don't know, like 30 or something. They are a very old and well
Big
known
as well then. There must be loads of, if it's 12 tiers. International, is it?
Yeah, it is international, so they've got leagues in everything. It's a league that Jano Otmir, I'm sure everybody knows who that is, races in, and a lot of the esports drivers do actually race in PSGL. It's a very, very, very good very good league, and a lot of quick guys. Even if you're just racing in PSGL, you're already a quick guy pretty much.
Yeah. Is Tom 97 in PSGL too?
Not familiar with that, unfortunately. Possibly could be.
Just having a look now. I don't know. It doesn't say.
Yeah, but they're up to.
Yes, he is. He's in PSGL F2 PC.
There you go. F2, yeah. I know one of Race Spec's own Shizu Jax is racing in F2 for PS series, so he's been doing pretty well. I think he got a race win.
Nice.
Yeah, and just insanely quick guys in that league. Yeah, as I said, they're up to season 30. I believe they've been racing for a very long time. I think they've been doing like it since I don't even know what game. Very old F1 game. They've been having league races, so they're a very old and respected league.
Yes. Yeah. Did you? I'm just seeing what he was writing in the chat there. Yes. And where does Limitless not drive for? Anyways, let's get back to Race Spec. We're 100% because we are hardcore unlike everyone else. Forget PSGL, they're nothing. They only do 50% races. We do 100% here. This is where the boys turn into men, and and yes, it is one hell of a hard slog, especially for the commentators. They have the hardest job, not the drivers. Our voices after this, we have to spend the whole week recuperating from talking for so long. Yeah, it's a tough job in the comm box. A tough job. I'm gonna make it sound as hard as possible and talk us up 10 because we're just legends.
Yeah, need a bit of the sympathy points.
Worst track ever from GeForce Pado in the chat there. I don't know if it's the worst track ever. It's a difficult track, I think, especially in these conditions. I think it really is. It's a bit of a fun track. It's a bit like Portimao, kind of a bit of that kind of that go-kart kind of feeling to it. There's you're sideways with the bank corners and you're up and down elevation changes. I think that makes it quite fun, but surely in the wet it is difficult, as Plebs is looking very, very spicy here with Drax in the Red Bull ahead, and just gives him a little love tap from behind just to tell him that he's there. Excuse me, I'm behind. I'm going to look for an overtake. And yes, that actually cost him a little bit of time there, just dropping back a touch. So maybe so narrow, no room for racing, no fun at all, says Alex. Well, this is true. It is difficult to overtake around here. I would say it's quite hard and quite fun to drive around, but yeah, the racing is quite difficult. I would definitely agree with you on that one around here. We have seen some overtake. We haven't seen too many. We have seen some overtakes, and I tell you, we've seen some daring overtakes around here.
Yep. That's what I like about it. It's a very daring overtake track. You got to have some cojones to you if you want to make a overtake, which I quite like.
Yeah, well, we're talking to the right person here. This is one of your favourite tracks, isn't it, 10? So you talk this track up. I don't know why I'm doing it.
Yeah, I was just hearing you talking about the track, and I'm just like, well, I kind of like it. I think I love the way it flows. I think I like the strategy that you have to do, like for overtakes. You got to really. I just like, yeah, I like I like street circuits. I like the narrow circuits, and I love the whole strategic way of trying to make an overtake. So putting them out of position or making them go a bit deep, just all that strategic stuff.
Little room for error.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Very
that's
much
what I think what we enjoy around here, and Alex is agreeing. He likes it on the TT. It is a fun track. You like it because you're commentating and not driving. Ooh, no. Ten just said it's one of his favourite tracks.
Yeah, I have done. I've only done a 50%. And granted, it was only a 50%.
Was it wet?
100%. Yes, but it was a full wet race entire way, and it was still pretty enjoyable. I didn't mind it in the end.
Each to their own, I guess, right? Yeah, everyone's got their own opinion, and we're allowed to have opinions and prefer other tracks to others. That is totally fine, and yeah, I can understand how it's struggled around. Drax holding strong. He is indeed holding strong. Maybe he learned a trick or two from you and the other Red Bull about defending around here because of how good a job you were doing. But yeah, Pleb's just not seeming to be able to get close enough. And I did notice the gap between BP and Ford had gone up to. We enjoy the banter here. You can banter as hard as you like. Yeah. We froth the banter. We love it, and yeah, very entertaining. Yeah, but BP, pulled that gap went up to 1 second, but now it's just yo-yoing around all over the place. And now back down to half a second. So maybe there's a few mistakes there. Yeah. Make it well, I wouldn't use the word impossible, because we've seen some overtakes around here that we held our breath and they were impressive, but I agree that was very difficult. As do not do anything silly right now, Deputy Dog. You keep that car out of the wall. Now keep the car out of the wall. It's very tricky here with no wing. Don't do anything silly. You're in P10. That's good points. It's your first race. No, it's not your first race, but just please keep that car on track there, because you let's see, apart from the Alfa Romeos, the Haas are the only cars with 2 drivers still in the race at the moment. Drax's tyres must be dying now, says Roscoe. I'm sure they're worn, but from what we heard before with Rude, his tyres were 35 laps or something, and he said they're only 30%. So they're probably they might not be as bad as we think, but yeah.
Yeah, 36 laps, only 30%.
It can't be that bad, because he's got some damn good pace keeping Plebs behind him on those much fresher inters. So yeah, he's doing a great job, doing an absolutely fantastic job. I would say there's been some exceptional defending from some of the boys today, and that's what's prevented those overtakes from happening. Good defending. No, don't need a 5-second penalty in the pit lane. People just love to seem to love picking those up in today, which is, I mean, it's probably not going to make much difference considering where he's at, unless, well, we're not going to get a safety car now. I don't think it's far too late for that. But yeah, some absolutely intense battles happening around the track still, with just a couple of laps left to go in this 72-lap race. Banana Cake and Ventani struggling away. Tyre wear is basically inexistent here, says Alex, confirming that. Are we going to see a move now with Plebs? Drax has made a mistake. I think he's held the racing line, given Plebs the inside. That's a big mistake. A little touch, I think, from them just there, and Plebs is through. There, Drax not taking a leaf out of Rude's book of defensive maneuvers. He definitely should have covered that on the inside, because Plebs is through. To people who say you cannot overtake around here, look at that there.
Yeah, beautifully done there. My God, just taking advantage of that little mistake, and that's pretty much what it's going to come down to in wet conditions around here, though.
Can you see the tyre light on steer wheel of Drax? Not really. unless we get a super duper great camera angle tire light. What tire light on the wheel? Other battles, Wogboy, right on the back of Vengeance. Vengeance has been doing a great job. He's not been racing here the whole time, but when he has been, he's been very quick. His best finish P4. Fortunately, missed quite a few races, but he's having it on for a really good finish today. Ford there cementing his dominance with a fastest lap on this penultimate lap. Can BP do anything with just a couple of with just the final lap? Very important also. Vengeance right on the edge of that 5 second. He could inherit P2 here if he keeps it all together on this final lap. It's going to be very, very close. How didn't this race reach the 2-hour limit? I have no idea, because we're on 2.5 hours at the stream, so it will be very, very close. And I think if we'd seen another safety car, it probably would have, wouldn't it? Not have.
I don't think we would have if we got another safety car. We may need another 2. We are sitting currently at 1 hour and 46 minutes into the race.
There you go. You know how we didn't? By everyone's excellent driving in the second half of this race. BP's dropped off the back of the Ford. Nothing is going to happen here. It's all eyes on Vengeance. Can he keep that 5 second gap? It is marginally close. You've got 3-4 corners left now. Just keep it together through this section if he wants that P2 place, and the rest of the gaps are quite open. We're all eyes here as Ford is coming around the last corner now. We're going to have a look here. Ford jumps across the line. He's a well-earned, well-deserved P1 for him, and oh, it's going to be close. He's not quite done it over the last line. I think BP's going to hold on to that P2 by a 10th. That's still the podium for Vengeance. Great drive from him, and Wogboy there securing P4. Plevs in P5, absolutely fantastic recovery drive. He had 2 drive-throughs, a terrible qualifying, so he's done an absolutely fantastic job of recovery there. Drax reserving, great job, P6. Ventani, this I believe is his first finish in endurance, and it's a P7, so it's a great job. Double points for Alfa Romeo. Bags P8, and that's a great job from him. He's that P7, he's jumped up there from, that's a glitch. We're going to ignore that 20-second penalty from Ventani. He's going to be back up there. Bags will be finishing in P8. Banana Cake P9, and Deputy Dilldog there in P10. He's done a great job. These guys, I think, look at this. I mean, they finished the race, so what a great job.
Yeah, amazingly well done. Yeah, Kickbutt Kiwi's prediction was wrong, unfortunately. Well, not wrong just yet. He's got to make the last corner, but at the moment, it's looking to be wrong.
That's that $50 you bet Kickbutt Kiwi. You can bank transfer that to us if you'd like before the next race. We'll take that. We did have our Super Dupers, but the problem with the Super Dupers is, I mean, you get the kick at the start, and then Tent found out he had a bit of a down halfway through. Drax, driver of the day. Good job from him, and what a race, man. Wow. He's got a 50% race now, is that right? Jesus, you are hardcore, man. Our winner here today in Zandvoort is Ford in the Mercedes P1. Excellent job, just held it together all race. Very, very commanding. BP just did not have an answer, but he had some incredible pace with the setbacks. And Vengeance there, P3, great finish from him. We'd, he could be challenging some of the top guys here if he keeps that together.
Yeah, very well done. Fastest lap was only by about a 10th. So yeah,
impressive there. And let's do a quick shout out to our DNFs there: Heisenberg, Glorious Noodle, Ferrari Pro Racing up to Spitty, Millark, Alex, Harass, and Rude, and Mighty Wombat right at the end there. Real shame from him. And what a tough race, and it just shows your perseverance and just keeping your head in the space, and that's where it all counts.
Yeah, very well done to all the boys. Congrats on finishing that race. It was extremely tough from what it looked like from here. Bad luck to all the boys that DNF'd. Unfortunate for all you guys, and feel pretty bad for the ones that DNF'd relatively late into the race.
Yeah, and here's the calendar for you. Now, it does say Russia next weekend, but we are not going to be racing in Russia, so currently it's up in the air where we race. and unfortunately we can't let you know at this stage, but so it'll be a bit of a surprise. It'll be a surprise for next week, a surprise for you guys all at home in the chat. And anyway, I think that's going to wrap us up here. So thanks for tuning in, and once again, amazing job to the guys. Thanks to Bags for being our interviewee of the week, and it was great to hear from him. And thank you, Mr. Tent Sandals, for joining me in the combox.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I want to do a quick thanks to the chat. Very awesome today. We got a lot of interaction, so it made it extra fun.
Yeah, good work, chat. Good work, chat. Keep it up. Keep it up. You've got something to carry on now. And thanks from all of us here, and we will see you next week at Mission.